Thank you, Dr. Nazili Muhammad Noor, CEO of MIM. He is also a respected turnaround expert and a professional management leader. On top of that, he's also an adjunct professor with University Utara Malaysia and University Putra Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a good 15 minutes for a Q&A session right now. So are there any questions from the floor for Dr. Nazili and for Dato'? Any questions? Because if not, I have a question. Dato', you said that now corporate citizenship is the current trend. What do you foresee would be the future after? Is there anything after corporate citizenship?
Well, I think it's not an easy thing to foresee this. You see, I don't know. Could be I think when you talk about corporate citizenship, I think is getting all the respective stakeholders to be involved together in an interactive way. So what it means is they have to work together, but I think maybe it will be part of the culture. Perhaps it will be integrated. Today there will be organizations and company talking and see how they can work in a way that can be mutually beneficial for both parties. But perhaps in the next few years it will be embedded. In other words, I'm not sure about Malaysia, but in Uniraza, we create what you call, I have my Director of Corporate Citizenship, Associate Professor Dr. Havriza. So basically, her role is to see how we can incorporate this. It's not just about CSR, it's also embedding the university with the other partners. And we would expect that once it's embedded, then it becomes a culture among our employees. And what is important is that there is, I'm not sure whether you've heard of the term of organizational citizenship behavior of employees. In other words, that means you will have employees working in organization, and for example, OCB means they are willing to stretch the extra mile without you having to say, here is a carrot, come and get for a carrot. That is what we are talking about, socially responsible managers. So for example, if you walk at Berjaya, what is road? Imbi Road, and you see a broken bottle, what will you do? Will you pick it up, put it aside, and collect it, send it in the bin, or we'll just say, oh, that's not my job, that's DBKL's job. See, this is something that we need to create, a culture of awareness among our people. See, and for example, when you see on the road, in Malaysian roads there are many potholes, some of it very big, will you stop by the side and bother to put a sign or stick or something to keep others so that they will not fall into that ridiculous pothole? So these are the things that we are talking about. Okay. So I don't know where. I hope you remember.
So stay here, sir, because I got one more question for you. Okay, I have heard during one of the talks, this professor was saying that there's this university in Austria, So when they heard that there was this tsunami in Aceh, the Austrian university literally closed down because everyone actually volunteered to go and assist. Can you comment on that, sir?
Well, I think that can be part of what you call global citizenship, global citizenship behavior. And we like to see this to happen. And I think in some European countries, they have this kind of culture. I think in some Scandinavian countries also, some Germanic countries, they have this. And we have yet to see this widespread in Asia Pacific. But of course, I cannot deny, Malaysia is very charitable. We to the extent that, I don't know whether you saw the TV3 last week. They had a very interesting, newspaper report about Malaysians who are very passionate in giving during Ramadan. And interestingly, this reporter, sat down with a fake poor man, and he's able to collect 300 ringgit within 1 hour, in 45 minutes. And that shows how generous Malaysians are, especially on Ramadan. Okay, never mind. But the thing is, the TV3 expose was trying to show that we are not able to differentiate the real needy people, as opposed to actually, they were not handicapped or what. They just tied their legs, and then after that they got 300 ringgit, they walk away. So it was something like a mafia. Alright. So this is the part that actually the government has got to do. Distinguishing between the real CSR and the so-called, the fake CSR. I believe that's a very good example of what happens in Austria, and I hope more Malaysian companies. By the way, now my mind remember, this professor who wrote the book is Prahalan, C.K. Prahalan. Okay, so he writes a very interesting article about, actually, in my opinion, if you want to be rich today, don't bother to, I'm sorry lah, nothing to do against Tan Sri Vincent Tan or what. Those are the era, Tan Sri Vincent Tan, Tan Sri Teh, those are the era. Today, if you want to be rich, look at how you can help people at the bottom of the pyramid, transform them, and how the riches will come to you. If you don't believe me, do it, and maybe once you get rich, you can see me if I'm still around.
So, an example of a person who were helping those at the bottom, and then he got rich because of how.
There are many. I cannot remember exactly one, but I do remember there's a lot of cases, that when they do, for example, there is this eye hospital in India, they do that, they transform, Arvind Eye Hospital, and for example, they talk about hygiene in India, sorry, nothing against, about female having to shampoo their hair. You know what they did? People cannot afford to buy shampoo, so you know what they did? Kevin Care did. They repackaged the 50-liter shampoo into 10 grams, and they sold it into billions and billions of rupees. So you can imagine. Well, in India, everything is almost $1 billion plus. So imagine in China, the same thing. So, and Southeast Asia is almost like 400 million population. So, our good friend from Indonesia, how can we help them? So that you will become rich. Because I believe you can actually, this is where I believe, like what Peter Drucker said, do good to do well. By doing good, people will come to you. And when people come to you, all the riches will come to you. You never expect. For example, Microsoft, what is this guy? Bill Gates. I don't think he ever thought about becoming a billionaire. Did Zuckerberg ever thought of becoming a billionaire? No, he was just trying to see how he can communicate. And what you call it? A Facebook. Okay? The same thing with Microsoft. He was trying to find a solution because there is Apple, there is all kinds. You know, all this is very complicated. Every time you transfer from one system to the next system, it's very complicated. So he said,